Hello, my name is Mike Pfaff, and this is my YouTube channel, Living in the Illusion. So we've had a lot of fun over the last several weeks talking about different things. Again, all part of the illusion, and basically we're trying to look through the illusion to see what's behind it. And basically, when you recognize that things aren't exactly the way you think they are, then you can stop taking yourself so serious and let go of a lot of things that really don't matter. So we're going to today step in a direction that we have worked on or talked about before. But this time we're going to give it a more finite meaning. And it is, we talked about it in different ways in the past, but we're going to be specific this time. And we're going to talk about the first lesson in A Course in Miracles. Now, it's a little esoteric for some people, and it's quite interesting to a lot of people. So we're going to start off with what is the first lesson. I'm going to paraphrase it. Oh, first I'll read, because I got it written down. I'll read how it is worded, and then I'll paraphrase it. So here's what the first lesson is. Nothing I see in this room, on this street, from this window, in this place, means anything. Oh, what a bold statement that is. But I'm going to paraphrase it into looking at nothing I see. Nothing I see means anything. Well, then that raises the question, what is meaning? And meaning is kind of like a purpose. I guess you would call it a purpose. So we're going to expand on that. Now, they're talking specifically about seeing, but all of the five senses kind of operate the way we're going to talk about them. So in a moment, we're going to change the scene again, and I'll bring my little board in and write that statement on the top. Nothing I see means anything. Oh. Let's see what kind of problems that presents to us. And is the lesson have any meaning? Oh, interesting. Nothing has any meaning that's outside of you, in this room. So you can look around you. And we'll do that. We'll have a test. And we'll look around the room and we'll look for meaning in the room you're in as part of our discussion. So stick around. We're going to have some fun. Or at least, hopefully, it'll be interesting. And in the end, we'll see if the statement is true. That nothing from your window, in this place, wherever you're at, has any meaning at all. See you in a moment. Well, we're back for right now. And you see things have changed. And up here on our little board, we have written the paraphrase of that first lesson. And it is, nothing I see means anything. Nothing I see means anything. Well, that's counterintuitive. Of course things have meaning. Why, your car, your significant other, your kids, everything has meaning. So what in the world, or why in the world, or why in A Course in Miracles, the first lesson says, nothing I see means anything? Well, they must be wrong for sure. No, they're not wrong. You're looking in the wrong direction. So we're going to change, hopefully, we're going to change the direction in which you see. That means change your vision. So maybe when we're through this process, your vision will have changed. Well, let's see how that goes. So let me explain the model that I'm putting together. Okay? It's not complete, but I started. Okay? We're talking about the eye because seeing relates to the eye. Although in this diagram, this model, you'll notice down here I have the other 4 senses, because all your senses do the same thing. Now, magnificent, all the senses are magnificent in themselves. But the only thing they do in this model is take outside, because now we're talking about the outside, change the energy of what's outside and convert it into data that we can use inside. So the information out here is converted by each one of your senses into data. So that's the point, that's the starting point. So you don't see things. That's why they don't have any meaning. You might not have thought about that. So now, because all you're seeing, all you're getting on the secondary side of all of your senses, which is the inside, which I'm calling the inside, is data. Is data. So, here you get all this information from the outside. And we know a lot about the eyes. There's people spend their whole life studying and working with and healing the eyes of people who have problems with their eyes. Very fascinating. But we're not talking about the complexity of the eye. We're talking about, after all that complexity, what do you get out of it? On the secondary side, data, information that is correlated to what you can use inside. Now, what do you got inside that needs the data? Well, you got your brain. Your brain takes the data. I don't want to say this too close because we've got a lot of work to do, but the upset is outshot. The the conclusion is this is where your objects are. This is why nothing out here has any meaning. Now, that data, the first thing, and we talked about this in other videos, the first thing that happens to the data, because there's a lot of it coming from the outside, and it's constantly coming, as long as your eyes are open. There is a certain amount of data, as long as there's some connection, some information that gets through, even if you can't see. There is some information that gets used in certain parts of the brain. So this is an important thing. But it's the data that is important. And so that's why I'm stressing you don't see with your eyes. Only data goes through your eyes. And the data must be interpreted. No, it's interpreted inside of you. Through, now, before we go to how that's done, the data that comes inside, which is a lot, is filtered. We talked about this in the past also. All your data from all your senses are filtered for what is relevant for you. What is relevant for you? Doesn't make any difference what's out here. What makes a difference is what is relevant. What do you know? If all kinds of stuff comes through and you don't have any reference information to all this outside information, doesn't mean anything. Has no meaning. So you have to take the meaningless data, because at this point it's meaningless. 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 Just gobbledygook. Until you determine what is relevant for you. Now, your past does that. Your experience from the past looks at this data and determines in all of this data what is relevant. What can it match up with from all its data? And if it can't match up with it, if it doesn't have reference to the information that's being passed, disregards it, throws it out, can't use it. Out here, unmanifested energy, meaningless to what's inside of you. Meaningless to what's inside of you until you look at it through your memories and beliefs and experiences from the past. So now, out of that process, you get data, but less data. Less data because you filtered it. You threw out what you didn't understand, what you didn't need, what you couldn't use. So now, out of what you think is out here, you have inside of you meaningful data. You have less data, but it's meaningful. Why? Because you have reference to it from your past. That's the data that creates meaning. That's the information that causes you to create. In a meaningful way what is important for you. Your significant other, your children, your car, your house, your job. All of that happens inside, not outside. Now, in the space around you, you have a lot of things. And up till this moment, you thought they were meaningful and important. So, get real close now. Look around wherever you're at, your living room, your kitchen, your den, your office, wherever you're at, your car. You could be watching your car on your phone. Pick something out that you find interesting for you. Like me and my cup of tea right now. Then look. Too much tea. So look at the object and say, this, whatever it is, and name it. Your couch, your dog, your cat, your child. This object has no meaning. And think about that. Whatever it is, your child, your significant other, a ham sandwich, whatever it is, say, this object has no meaning. And then, inside of you, see if you can come up with a feeling that goes along with that statement. Now, since I'm not there, I'm going to guess. One of them was, you're right, this object has no meaning. Not for me. Or you may say, well, this is very profound. This is a picture of my father or my grandfather, and he's very important to me. So this has meaning for me. So you can have two ways. No meaning, doesn't mean nothing to me, or meaning. Now here's the big question. Does the meaning come from the picture outside of you, of your father, your grandfather, your significant other, or from your interpretation of the relevant data that you have inside? Does the meaning come from the outside picture, significant other, or from your inside interpretation of the significant and meaningful data that you have left over after you filter it? Again, the vision. Are you seeing the object with your eyes, your eye, or are you seeing the object meaningfully as an inside interpretation? And so now we have to look at what the statement is. Nothing I see with the eye. When I see it with the eye out here, it's meaningless. Doesn't matter what it is. Nothing outside of you has meaning until you put it on it. Until you put it on it based upon your memories, your beliefs, your experiences, your values. Whatever your values are, moral, religious. Nothing outside of you has any meaning in and of itself. Not one thing. Not one thing. Not one lampshade. Not one picture. Not one couch. Nothing outside of you has any meaning. Oh, you didn't know you were so powerful. So inside of you, you create the meaning. The meaning does not come from the object. Does not come from the object. It comes from this process of relevance, finding relevance in the data, and then creating inside of you the meaning. So I'm going to suggest in the illusion, you do not see with the eye. You see with the mind. You see what you want to see, and you hear what you want to hear. You taste what you want to taste. You touch what you want to touch, because you do it inside. What is the significance of the first lesson? Nothing I see in this room, on this street, through this window, in this place, has any meaning. Out here, no meaning. The only meaning of anything, is in here, is inside. And now, another big question in the illusion. Where's the inside? Why am I asking it that way? Because you believe you're your body. You're not your body. Your body shifts and changes. You're not the same body. So you can't be your body. How you are now, you are different than when you were 2 years old, and so was your body. But you, the original you that came into this dimension, is the same. Oh, how do you find that original self? One way is to recognize you're making everything happen. You're making your world the way it is because you're the way you are. In your memories, in your experiences, in your beliefs. You want a different world? You want to see a different world out here? The world, of course, you know the world is in here. That was our last several videos. Got to change your past. You got to heal your past. I've said that several times, and people don't believe it. They think, oh no, those other people should heal and change and do. Nobody's going to change. If you don't change, you're going to have the same world. It's you that has to change, and the magnificence of you changing changes this out here. Why? Well, it doesn't change this data, it changes this data. You change the significance. You bring in to this process different data. So it's your past you have to heal. Oh, we might have to talk about that. How do you heal the past? Well, first of all, you have to know what the past is. And I'll put another video up there about another discussion we had about what the past is. And we'll see what happens. So to restate, nothing I see means anything through the eye. The only meaning anything has is the meaning I give it on the inside. All the meaning anything has is the meaning you give it from this inside process. That's the second lesson. So we talked about the first lesson, and now we talked about the second lesson. Nothing has any meaning except what you put on it. You put on it. So who creates your world the way it is? You do. You want to change your world, have a better world, nicer world out here? This doesn't change. This changes. This changes because you filter it differently. Because you change your memories, beliefs, values that you hold inside of you that is the creator of the world that you have. So when you change this, you will see a different world out here. But of course, you don't see it with your eye. You see it with your inner vision. And it has nothing to do with the eye. Oh. The illusion is so magnificent. And so is the body. And it's difficult to understand. You're not your body. We have a lot to talk about. And we'll come up with maybe another lesson in the course. But be good to yourself. Subscribe below if you'd like. Hit the like button, which I'd like. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye now.